Hello. Hey, everybody. I hope there's not too much of a delay with my internet tonight. That always seems to be a problem and it's super annoying. So, hopefully, it will cooperate. Also, y'all don't let me get on here looking like a ragamuffin. If you see lipstick on my teeth, please say something. Thanks. Okay. Hey, Vicky. How's everybody doing? There's Bailey. I put him on the chair, so if he poops, he's not gonna poop on me. There's a newspaper in the floor up under him. So, I have really been wanting to do more live streams, but y'all know that I have some serious internet issues, and the other day, I downloaded OBS, which is a software for live streaming where I can talk and also screen for you. It's what most live streamers do. So that I could show you things and we could watch videos together and talk about it. But I downloaded it all, got it all set up, and my Wi-Fi is just so bad. It it would only like stream like 1 or 2 seconds at a time and then it would buffer. So I had to back up and punt and go to plan B, which is just a stream of me running my hole on my face. And we will have to, you will have to Google on your own phone if it comes to that because I cannot do it for you. My connection does not handle it. So that is quite unfortunate, but you best believe that when I get better internet, we're going to be doing some live streams. Hey, Kaylin. I'm sorry you're having a bad afternoon. I know I talked to you the other day. You were having a hard time then. I hate that. Let's see. You can't understand anything I'm saying? Is anybody else having that problem? Is it my accent or is the audio messed up because of my internet? Okay. Okay. Mary, is it my accent maybe? I will try to control my redneck ways a little bit and try to speak more clearly. But so before we get started on the Carlee Russell and Amanda Riley thing, for this live stream, in the description, there's a link to a fundraiser I'm doing, and there's also the regular buy me a coffee link. Also, any super chats or any donations, anything like that for this video, all proceeds will go to a local friend here in my hometown that is in a really bad situation. I cannot give too many details in order to respect her privacy. And please, if you cannot or you're not comfortable giving anything, please don't. I don't want anybody to feel uncomfortable. I reached out to her yesterday and I said, "Look, I don't have a lot of cash that I can give you, but I want to help." So, if you click on the link in my description, it will take you to my Facebook page where I am doing a raffle of a crochet blanket that I made. And I told her I was going to try to do 50 slots at $10 a pop and try to get her 500 bucks. That would cover groceries and some other things that she really needs. And so you can go there, read the instructions, and have a chance to win my blanket that I love so much. I was planning on keeping that one, but that's okay. I can make another one. if you're not interested in that and you would just like to, like, if you were gonna buy me a coffee, just if you do that and put a little note that it's for the fundraiser, I will make sure that she gets all of that. I will when I make the transaction, I'll post a screenshot, but I will have to, like, because her name is in her Venmo thing, and we wanna respect her privacy. So, again, if you're comfortable with that and you're able, that would be great. If you're not able to, don't worry about it. I just wanted to do what what's the point of having I'm not saying like I have a platform, but what's the point of having any kind of community if you're not, helping each other? So, enough of that. No pressure, just if you feel so inclined, that would be fantastic. Also, has anybody already watched my Jason Aldean video I just posted? I had no plans on posting that video today, but I managed to record. I think the video ended up being like 10 minutes, but I got dressed up. I recorded the video, got it edited, drove down the street, and parked by the dumpster and uploaded it real quick because it's so appropriate with this small town song, and then having people in your small town that you actually want to try to take care of some. So I kind of thought it was appropriate. But anyways, um okay. So I'm curious, have y'all I know y'all all know about the Carlee Russell situation. I'm curious who already knows about Amanda Riley and the Scamanda podcast. Yes, I'm a trashy dumpster queen, Kaylin. Yeah, he's not from a small town, nor has he ever lived in a small he lives behind a gated community, I'm sure, okay? He ain't small town with nobody. Anyways, I do like some of his other songs, though. Okay-ish. I mean, I'm not a huge country fan. But so, at 4 o'clock today, I saw a press release on the Carlee Russell case where, her lawyer put out a statement, and she has admitted that the whole thing was a scam. Okay, Barb, I think we're gonna do Carlee Russell first, and then we'll do Amanda. So, Carlee Russell, just a very, very quick summary. Carlee Russell lives in my state of Alabama. I think she's like, I don't know, 20, 25 or something like that. She called 911 whenever this happened, like a week or so ago. I don't remember the exact days, but she called 911, said that she saw a toddler walking down the interstate, and then she called a family member and claimed that she was kidnapped and held hostage for 48 hours. They fed her Cheez-Its, they took pictures of her naked. It was a white man with orange hair. And then, like, the whole everybody down here was, like, freaking out because it was a scary situation, and everybody was just hoping that she was gonna be found, and luckily she was. She was found when she just walked her happy ass up to her parents' house, and then they got real quiet, and then they finally did a press conference with the Hoover Police Department where they all but said that it was a lie. They didn't say it was a lie, but they were like, "We cannot find any evidence that there was ever a baby on the side of the road," and they listed all the evidence they had that kind of, for instance, they tracked her phone, and while she was on the side of the road with her hazard lights on, she traveled for like 400 yards. Well, a toddler wearing a diaper is not gonna walk for 400 yards down the side of a major highway. On top of the fact, there were absolutely no other 911 calls for that, which kind of made me question it initially, and I'll tell you why. only because as a paramedic in my county, there's a major interstate that runs the whole length of our state, and it goes directly from Atlanta to Birmingham, and then my county is right in between. And we would get calls for wrecks on I-20 constantly, and one of the things that would help us determine, because a lot of times people would see something and they would call 911 and report it, but they wouldn't stop. They would keep going. And so there were times where we would drive up and down and never could find anything. And I was always scared that there's like a car in the ditch that we can't see. And I was just always really scared to miss something. But another way to for us to kinda give us peace of mind is we would call the dispatcher and say, "Hey, have you received any other phone calls, or was it just this one?" Because anytime there's a wreck on the interstate, there's gonna be multiple phone calls. Anytime it was just one phone call, it pretty much guaranteed that nothing had happened. So that's kinda when I started thinking, this smells fishy." And then I saw on TikTok today, which I thought was funny. So, black women, the black females, they knew that she was lying when it was reported that her wig was left. I don't remember if the wig was left in the car or left on the road. I'm not sure, but it's like a $800 to $1,200 lace. I don't know much about wigs, but like the black women were like, "No, a black woman does not take her wig off." And they were calling it then, but anyways, what we still don't know is what the hell she did for those 48 hours that she was missing. And the other y'all, I'm bad about losing my train of thought. I was trying to read the comments and think at the same time, and it it gets me every time. Hold on. I'll come back to it. Um, oh, the other thing about it is I don't know if y'all remember the Anaya Blanchard case. That was back in 2019, young black female. I think she might have been out jogging, I don't remember, but anyways, she got kidnapped. Her kidnapped was witnessed, and then they found her body sometime later where she had actually been killed. And Anaya Blanchard's mom, when she heard about the Carlee Russell case, got involved and was searching and posting on social media and got very involved with this case only 4 years after her own daughter was kidnapped and murdered. And think about the weight of that, what that took for her to put her feelings aside of what she had been through with her own daughter to help out this case, only to find out that the whole thing was completely fabricated, is sick and mind-blowing. And the other thing that gets me is, by all indications, Carlee Russell acted, as far as we know, alone. Her family was not in on it. So her family really thought that she was kidnapped and missing, and usually those don't end up well. So I cannot imagine. As a mom, I just cannot. I can't imagine, and I cannot process the audacity that Carlee Russell had to do that to her own family. And I'll tell you why, what made me wanna talk about it. Lee and I so my accident was, I saw that too, Vicky. Um, it happened again. Anytime I read comments, I lose my train of thought. Um, So my accident was October of 2021, and y'all all know about that. But I would say for the first year ish, I don't think I was able to think about Lee's position or my dad. Like, it was so much that I could only focus on my own thoughts and my own perspective and my own injuries and pain and progress, and just it kinda sounds selfish, but it was just out of necessity, I think. But after, life started getting a little bit easier for me, and Lee started talking more about everything that he went through, and he would tell me about, things that my dad said or how he was acting, and same with my sister, and just when the pieces of the puzzle started getting filled in a little bit for me from their perspective, I have so much guilt. It haunts me because I'm gonna try not to cry. Um, I would never in a million years for any amount of money put my family intentionally through something like that. And even now, when my dad talks about it, he'll kind of just he'll only well, he has not talked about it publicly. He will not talk about it publicly, but he has talked about it with me, everything that he saw and went through because he was the one that was there with me. And the last time he was talking to me about it, I just kept telling him, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry because I have so much guilt that I ever got on that stupid motorcycle and put my family through that. And it wasn't intentional. I didn't fake an abduction, but I have so much guilt for what they went through. And with the Carlee Russell situation, I have that much guilt about an accident, but she did it. She put her family through like the worst thing imaginable for what? For what? I just we still don't know what her motive was. We still don't know what she did during those 48 hours. And I don't know what the official definition of a psychopath is or a sociopath. I'm not a clinical psychologist, but she's got to be on that spectrum somewhere that is horrific. And in that statement her lawyer put out, it said something about, Carly is asking for your forgiveness and your prayers. Well, no, we do not forgive you. I do not forgive you. And I mean, maybe we can all eventually get there. Maybe this will go away and Carly can have some kind of a life in the future, but girl has got to make some serious changes and she has got to redeem herself some way, somehow. I and her mother, her father, her family, I don't know as a mother how you could move past that. I like to say, I mean, just to think that I would never, like, disown a child or anything like that, but I just can't fathom my child, one of my children, doing that to me, and she did it, and I just don't know how does her mother move on from that? How does she forgive her? I don't know, what do y'all think? What do y'all think about that? Do you think that her mother can one day move on from that? Or I'm curious what y'all are thinking. Supposedly, someone knew her and got a hold of her text messages, and her boyfriend cheated on her within a cancer. She was trying to get back at him. Well, I would say that that has backfired. So that's the Carlee Russell. I don't know which one of these situations is worse, Carlee Russell or this Amanda Riley situation. Um, so if you don't know who Amanda Riley is, Amanda Riley is a woman in, I want to say at one time somewhere in California, and then I think she moved to Texas. But back in like 2000, I can't pull up. We can't do this live because I don't have the OBS software won't support it. So I can't fact check myself right now, but like 2009 to 2011 ish, she got cancer and she started a blog. I don't remember the name of the blog, and she was posting regular updates. And turns out, I think she kept this blog up for like 7 to 9 years. I mean, this went on for a very long time. She faked cancer. Not just faking cancer, but she had stage 4. Vicky, you will have to fact check me because I don't. She had stage 4, like some kind of a blood cancer or something. And then she would be talking about hospice, and then they would find a new miracle drug. Like, it was just this constant up and down, up and down. She's on death's door. Oh, she's a miracle and she's healed. And then a couple months would go by and, oh, the cancer's back. And then she would be back on death's door. And during all of this, so I've got some harsher opinions on this than most people probably, because I think she's extra gross because not only did she fake cancer, I mean, that's awful, but she became like a prominent figure of her of the church they went to. Thank you, Vicky. She attended, I don't remember the name of the church, but it was a mega church. There were thousands of people at this church, and she would give her testimony and became like a prominent figure and regular speaker, even went so far as to one day pass out and pee on herself, and they called an ambulance and took her to the hospital. Oh, hey, Deidre. Um, but the to say she faked cancer for 7 years is like does not even cover it. She was researching cancer. She was taking pictures. So she would like go to the ER and say she was dehydrated and then take a picture with an IV in her arm and post it to her blog. And she would just go in random hospitals and just wander around and take pictures and get information. I mean, this woman had a full-time job faking cancer. She knew cancer drugs. She knew the lingo. She knew just how to string people along. There's this picture on the internet. Y'all can pull it up. If you type in Amanda Riley on Google, hit images, you'll see there's a picture down there of her in the church with dollar bills at her feet, where they had one of many like fundraisers or, services where she would give her testimony. And then she would say things like, I'm just so grateful that we were able to pay our bills this month, but the new drug I need is gonna be $2,400 a month, and I don't know what we're gonna do, and so, of course, the people in the church would give her all this money, and there's that one picture with all the dollar bills at her feet. Ugh. Makes me angry. I have an extra special disdain for grifters who use Christianity. I think it's extra gross. Yeah, Barb, it's really bad. Vicky, I I think she did have some people in her family fooled, but I 1000% believe that her husband knew. He has not been charged with anything. So it's a podcast. It's called Scamanda, and I listen to it on Spotify. There's like 6 hours or like 6 episodes or something like that. It's very well done. What excuse me. What happened was this journalist, Nancy Piscatel or Nancy something, got an anonymous tip from somebody. It was like, "Hey, you really need to look into this girl." And so Nancy investigated her for years before she could finally get, like, police involved. Like, they were on to her by, like, 2014 or 2015, but they couldn't actually do anything until much later because lying and telling people you have cancer, even on the internet, faking cancer is not illegal. What they got her on was wire fraud. So people who donated to like GoFundMe or whatever, that's wire fraud. But other donations, cash donations, things like that, they can't get that money back. So I think Vicky said, how much did Vicky say it was? 105,000, and that was just in wire fraud. That was just what they could trace. That does not count cash donations or anything like that. She would also get trips paid for to New York, where she would be supposedly going to get a new treatment or be on this clinical trial, and they would pay for her to go to New York. They would pay for her accommodations where she would walk around hospitals and take pictures and then go walk the city, and she shaved her head and let's see. Um, so y'all, I'm bad about I can't read comments and talk at the same time. I'm not very good at that. Oh yeah, I do remember that, Vicky. I do. There was a yeah, they had a no, there were several celebrities like this. So when you type in Amanda Riley and you look at the picture, the thing about Amanda Riley is she's young, she's beautiful, she's gorgeous, and she's this sweet little, like, when you see the or hear on the podcast, they read her blog post, and she just comes across as this. I think that's why this case bothers me so much because she embodies everything about people I dislike the most, which is people who what am I trying to say? People who have the look, they know what to say, but they're so fake and just toxic, terrible people, but you can't ever prove it. You just know it to be true, but you can't go badmouth them because that just makes you look bad. But she's all of that. She's beautiful, she's sweet, she's articulate, it was just a terrible sob story. She had 2 young kids, and on top of the whole cancer thing, her and her husband, I think they ended up getting custody of the husband's daughter, Jessa, and alienated her from her own mother. Like, I won't go into all that, but it's really sick what they did, and she got 5 years for wire fraud, and that's that, but we will have to wait and see. Sorry, we will have to wait and see when she comes out what she does, but wouldn't surprise me if she tries to pull another. I I don't know. I don't know what she's gonna do, but and that brings me to another person. Hold on. If you don't know, I've mentioned her before. If you don't know who Brittany Dawn is, that's another fascinating story. Yes, Deidre, exactly. But Brittany Dawn, kind of similar to Amanda Riley in that she's young, she's beautiful. She blew up on Instagram back in like, gosh, I don't know, 2017, 2018 as a fitness influencer. And she got a website and she started offering custom workout plans and meal plans for people for money. But after this went on for so long, it was found out that it wasn't custom at all. It was just generic things. So she was scamming people. She claims that it wasn't intentional, but whatever. So she got sued by the state of Texas and she lost the civil suit and has to pay back 400 something thousand dollars. So what she did is she just changed from being a fitness influencer to a Christian influencer. And so now she uses all of her old pictures where she was wearing her fitness clothes and showing her body. And she was talking about how, she's changed and now she's modest and wholesome and just like is not the person that you think she is. There's a whole Reddit thread about her. People who have been assistants, people who have worked closely with her have all ratted her out as being a despicable human being. But when you go to her YouTube page or any of her social media, she's this sweet little innocent, godly, um helpless woman that needs protection, and she's being cyberbullied and doesn't understand how people can be so cruel. But she's smart because she changed her grift from fitness to evangelical Christianity. And if that's your thing, you can't really say anything about her because she's been forgiven. And boy, she uses that a lot. God has changed my heart. I'm Brittany Dawn, a Jesus loving, workout chasing, coffee drinking gal from Texas. Yeah. Yeah. And she wears these tarantula looking fake eyelashes and she looks like a Oompa Loompa from all the fake tanner. It's just, ugh, it's so gross. I don't know what y'all like to watch on YouTube, but like when I'm crocheting something, I like to listen to I like to put on something that I can listen to, and I somehow ended up on, like, these grifter channels where these YouTubers expose scams and MLMs and stuff like that, and I got all into that. So right now I'm on this rabbit hole of scammers, and then this Carlee Russell thing happened, but so basically, what I wanted to say, I said in the description, I wanted to talk about it from my perspective as somebody who's actually been through something horrible. Being in that accident versus what they're claiming, I know that it's different, but yeah, but like I said earlier, when I see it's not quite been 2 years since my wreck, but Lee, as time goes on, he kinda talks to me about it more from his perspective and the things that he went through, the things that he was told, and things that I didn't know and I couldn't process and couldn't understand for so long. So even though my accident has been over a year and a half ago, there's some things about it that are fresh for me, such as when I hear something that I didn't know before, it's like you kinda gotta process it and almost grieve a little bit, and when he tells me these things and I just can't imagine being in his shoes. I know what it was like on my side, and it was horrible, but the things that he went through, the things especially like my dad and sister, the things that they went through is just like I said, it I have I have more guilt now than I did even earlier on because now that I'm, doing fairly well, I've got space to process other things, and that's hard for me. I have a lot of guilt. I feel very guilty for ever getting on that motorcycle, knowing what they have been through because of that decision. And so I think the Carlee Russell situation, I'm just thinking about their families and the people on the other end of that and the mental turmoil and just the emotional abuse and emotional manipulation is sickening to me, and in my opinion shows that they do not have empathy. They cannot see anything from someone else's perspective. They are self-centered and selfish and just a fungus of a human being. And that's how I feel about that. And I gotta check my teeth for lipstick. Hold on. Because I know y'all ain't gonna tell me. See, I got lipstick on my teeth. I knew it. And none one of y'all said anything about lipstick on my teeth. But I sure enough did. Let's see. So yeah, that was Are you researching Brittany Dawn? Um, that's all I had on the agenda to talk about tonight. I can hang around for a few more minutes if y'all want, but yeah, and that's the video that we haven't done yet that I've wanted to do. In fact, right before Lee retired, we were about to film a video, and we were gonna do a video about what do we think about motorcycles on this side of it, and because I get asked that. I did an interview for a podcast for Peloton yesterday. I don't know when that will be out, but I will share it when it comes out. But I was doing that interview yesterday, and what was I saying? Uh, what was I saying? I had a point. Oh, we were going to do a video on the motorcycles, and so I will just briefly touch on that now, but we get asked that all the time. And I think there is a small group of people who are hardcore Harley people or whatever that they just can't live without riding a motorcycle. And that's fine. But knowing what I know now, I'm not going to say that. I mean, I don't judge people who ride or anything like that. But for me personally, it's absolutely not worth it. I I knew what could happen because I've seen it. I can't wrap my brain around the fact that I still chose to ride a motorcycle after being a paramedic. Like, I think we just all think that it won't happen to us. I think that's kinda how I've always lived my life, is you see bad things and you see bad things happen to other people, but I think we kinda have this sense of, "Well, it's not gonna happen to me," and I think that's normal, though. I think you kinda have to have that mindset or you'll never leave the house because so many bad things happen, but so I don't wanna be too hard on myself for that. However, if y'all ever see me on a motorcycle again, you have my permission to berate me, humiliate me, expose me, whatever, because I in my opinion, that would be the stupidest thing I could ever do. Hey, Mary, glad you popped in. I am very happy to be here. I am so grateful. I think that's what I was now my thoughts are coming back together. When I was doing that interview yesterday for Peloton, we were talking about that was one of the questions that they asked me was if I would ever ride again, and I always find that question funny because to me, the obvious answer is hell no, but that's the number one question that I get, and no, I will absolutely not ride a motorcycle again. I love my life. I love being here. I like, I don't wanna mess it up, and I don't know. I hope I hope that makes sense. Mary, I've done run my mouth for 42 minutes and just I'm sorry. You'll just have to rewatch it, I guess. Bailey's been good, though. Oh, I do have to tell you something funny about Bailey. Yes, I was a very casual rider, but a funny story about Bailey the other night. We were in the bathroom and we were leaving, and I turned out the lights before I opened the door, so it was really dark in there, and I could tell when I turned the lights out, Bailey's demeanor kind of changed a little bit, like he was scared, and I could s like, it was low light, but I could still see him, and I reached over and I touched him, and when I did, he flipped out, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, he can't see me." And so I would, like, just hold him there for a minute, and then I would touch him in a different spot, and he would flip out. That poor bird thought he was in a haunted house, and so, of course, I Googled, and parrots don't have good eyesight in low light because they have less rods and cones than we do, but that p I could see him fine. He couldn't see shit, and it was, like, midnight, and I had had an edible, and so I was, like, laughing my head off, but anyways, it was funny. Exactly, Amy, and she was never when she shaved her head, she was never, like, bald. Cancer patients go bald. She just had a buzz cut and always eyebrows, always had makeup on. I didn't know any parrots were blind as a bat, but he can't see in the dark, that's for sure. Is there anything else y'all while we're here that y'all wanted to talk about? I'll give it a moment. Um, sometimes I'm not the best on the fly. How's my internet doing on y'all's end? Is it buffering or is it grainy? The camper is going well. We have spent one night in it just out here in the barn. We were hoping to go camping any day now, but so if you know anything about a camper, it's got the toilet has got this rubber gasket in the toilet that holds water in, and it kind of keeps that water that stays in the toilet keeps any sewer gases from stinking your camper up, and we noticed that our toilet wasn't holding water. So instead of hooking it up to take it back down to the shop to get it fixed, we just got on YouTube because I told Lee, I said, it's got to be something like really simple, like uh, like that gasket. And that was the first thing they said. The gasket is probably not seated correctly or it needs to be replaced. So I pulled the gasket out, checked it, and it looked fine. So I put it back in and thought I had it in there right. And I hit the foot flush. And when I did, the gasket went straight down the toilet into the black tank. So right now I've got the lid closed and a wad of toilet paper covering the hole so you don't smell sewage. And I went down to the camper store, and for that one little rubber gasket, they said it was $90, and I said, "Hell no." So I got the part number, went home, found an off-brand with the same part number on Amazon and ordered it. It will be in tomorrow, and I got 3 for, like, $8, and tomorrow I will be replacing the gasket, and if all goes according to plan and the gasket works, the toilet holds water, we will go sometime this week for 3 or 4 days to, Coleman Lake here in town. But the one night we did spend in the camper here was wonderful. So far, I have not found anything about the camper that I don't like. I haven't got to shower in it or anything yet, but all RV mattresses are terrible, but we put a good mattress topper on it and slept really well. I love that camper so much. We're gonna have so much fun. I'm so excited to go different places and spend some time in it and enjoy this stage of our life. So, um, that's all I can think of to update y'all on. Bailey's grooming himself. You heard your name, didn't you? It has Wi-Fi, so I don't really understand how that works. It is prepped for Wi-Fi. I have no idea how any of that works, but, like, Coleman Lake, where we're gonna go here in my hometown, it there's no cell service. Like, to make a phone call, you have to drive, like, 5 or 6 miles until you get service again. So, the whole time we're gonna be at Coleman Lake, there's no phone calls, there's no text, there's no anything. That's the only thing I don't like, but anyways, I started a new project I'm really excited about. It is another I always say this word wrong. I'm gonna type it in the comments. Hold on. I don't know the proper way to say this word. Mandala. I don't know. I have always said Mandela, and I feel like an idiot. Anyways, I started a new one that I'm crocheting, but it's a mosaic technique, which I've done in a blanket, but I've never done on a mandala. So I'm super excited. I'm super excited about that. And I was thinking about also raffling that off for this person I was talking about earlier, but that will not be finished for a while. It's gonna take a long time. And so that's why I went ahead and started raffling with the blanket. So, if y'all wouldn't mind, even if you don't wanna participate and you can't participate, if you would follow the link in the description to my Facebook page and maybe share it, that would be great. And even I think I'm up right now to like $150, and so even if I don't get any more, I'm still gonna do the raffle and just give her what I do make, but I would love to be able to get the 500. So I'll probably give it like a week or so. And mandala, is that right? Mandala. Why do I feel weird saying it that way? I figured that was the right way, but I feel weird saying that. I don't know why. Maybe it's a southern thing. Mandala. Yeah, I think that's how you're supposed to say it. My face is looking better. My cat bit me in the face right here the other day. I keep telling Lee they shouldn't your cat should not come in baby size if it doesn't wanna be held like a baby, and I like to swaddle her and hold her like a baby, and she doesn't like that very much, and she bit me in the face the other day, so I learned my lesson. That was definitely my fault. Um, but I guess I'm going to hop off. Let me think. If you haven't watched it already, I just posted a video before I went live about Jason Aldean and his new song. I mean, I guess we could talk about that here, but it's funny. Every time I share a YouTube video to my Facebook, it's like crickets. Nobody likes it. Nobody shares it because everybody that knows me in person is like opposite from me. So I have to get on YouTube to like be around people that I feel like understand me. But anyways, I just put out a video on his new song. Let me know what you think about it. And if you have a different opinion, that's totally fine. It was just kind of giving my opinion on it. And yeah. So go to bed, Deidre, in Ireland. It's like what, 2 in the morning for you? But I will see y'all soon, hopefully after a camping trip. It's November. What? It's November in Ireland. Anyways, y'all have a good rest of your evening. I am finally going to go work on my new mandala for a little bit, and I'll post some pictures of like, I want to do like a progress video on it, maybe, or something. I'll do something. It's really neat and it's going to be really pretty, and I'm excited about it. Can you tell? I love starting something new. I'm not always great about finishing it, but I like to start it. All right. Thank y'all for joining me. Have a good rest of your night, and I will see y'all soon.